What is the chemical reaction? Is a chemical change. During the chemical reaction, elements or compounds they undergo a change. Chemical reaction, they are an essential part of life, and many of them accelerated by special proteins which are known as the enzymes. Some chemical reactions break down the substances and others build them up. Together, these reactions make up the body metabolism. Water is a liquid that is essential to the body, and water is a compound of hydrogen and oxygen. It is found in all the living things, and it makes up between 50 to 75% of the body's weight. It is an important for many reasons. Finally, it flows easily, which helps to carry the substances from places to place. This is a very nice book, Encyclopedia of the Human Body. I got from the library, and I'll be more keen to discuss many things about our body from this book, so stay tuned to my channel. Goodbye.
The dentine is a bone-like tissue that gives us tooth its shape, and dentine is the most abundant tissue in the tooth. It gives it its basic shape. It is not as hard as the enamel, but it is extremely strong. It forms a layer underneath the tooth crown and extends downward to form the anchorages, which is known as the root. Dentine contains calcium salt, but unlike enamel, it also contains the living cells. This is the pulp of the tooth. It is a very soft tissue inside the mouth, and pulp contains blood vessels, lymph vessels, and nerves. It makes the dentine and keeps the inside of the tooth alive. Most pulp is in a space called as a pulp cavity, and it extends to a tooth stool. Inside the space is called as the root canals. ये incisors, ये different kinds के teeth होते हैं. One is the incisor with a very cutting edge. They are at the front of the upper and lower jaw, and they are the first teeth to erupt in each set. They slice past each other to cut up food, and they have a single root. Canine is the I have this very informative book which is known as the Encyclopedia of the Human Body, and today we will be discussing about teeth, जो कि बहुत important part होते हैं in eating and the digestive system of our body. So teeth, they are like a living toolkit. The various shapes enable them to cut, crush, and grip so that they can prepare the food for digestion. They are harder than the bones, and they develop in a very different way. This is the structure of the tooth, and they are made up of many layers, and they have blood vessels and nerves which are running throughout the them. Enamel, जो उसके ऊपर का crown होता है, उसको कहते हैं. The hard substance that forms the exterior of a tooth. Enamel is the hardest material in the body, and it is made up of almost entirely of calcium salts, and it covers a tooth crown, which is a part of the body, and the tooth that projects above the gums. Unlike all other parts of a tooth, enamel is non-living. It stops the tooth wearing away and protects the softer tissues inside it. This is the tooth, a hard structure in the mouth. It cuts or grinds the food. So this is all about the tissues of the skeleton. We will discuss more about in the details. अब तक के लिए इतना ही. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Stay tuned for more videos, information with full of information. Thank you. But it doesn't contain the osteons, very less than the compact bone, जो कि हमें reduce कर skeleton का weight कम करने में help out करती है. The spaces inside the sponge bone are often filled with the red bone marrow. Then now let's study about what is the bone marrow. Is a soft tissue which is inside the bones and it is found within the spongy bone and in the central space of medullary cavity of long bones. Red marrow जो होता है वो blood cells बनाते हैं, जबकि जो yellow marrow होता है वो हमारा फैट को स्टोर करते हैं. ये हमारे पास इलास्टिक कार्टिलेज और फाइब्रस कार्टिलेज की बात हो रही है. तो फाइब्रस कार्टिलेज एक टाइप होती है कार्टिलेज की जो कि बहुत सारा अमाउंट कोलेजन का अपने अंदर रखती है. एंड फाइब्रस कार्टिलेज इट एक्ट्स एज अ शॉक एब्जॉर्बर. इट इज़ फाउंड इन इनवर्टिब्रल डिस्क एंड ऑल्सो इन द नीज एंड रिस्ट. इलास्टिक कार्टिलेज एक कार्टिलेज होती है जो कि स्ट्रॉन्ग फाइबर्स जो कि खिंच सकते हैं, विच कैन स्ट्रेच उसमें होता है बिकॉज इट प्रोड्यूसेस द इलास्टिसिटी एंड कंटेन्स द स्प्रिंगी प्रोटीन नोन एज द इलास्टिन. इट इज़ फाउंड इन द एपिग्लॉटिस एंड इन द अपर पार्ट ऑफ द ईयर. सो इट हैज़ एक्सियल अपेंडिकुलर स्केलेटन जो कि मेनली बोना कार्टिलेज से बना होता है और बॉडी को इसका शेप देता है, इंटरनल ऑर्गन्स को प्रोटेक्ट करता है एंड प्रोवाइड्स एन एंकर फॉर मसल्स विच अलाउज द बॉडी टू मूव. इट ऑल्सो स्टोर्स मिनरल्स एंड फॉर्म द ब्लड वेसल. यहाँ पे ये बोन का हमने पढ़ा हुआ है. बोन इज़ अ वेरी हार्ड टिश्यू डेट गिव्स द स्केलेटन इज स्ट्रेंथ. येस, बोन जो है वो टिश्यूज़ में शुमार होती है. बोन इज़ अ लिविंग कनेक्टिव टिश्यू एंड इज़ composed of collagen. Collagen is a mineral which is a calcium and phosphorus and it is widely spaced cells known as the osteocytes. जो bone के cells होते हैं they are known as the osteocytes which are surrounded by fibers of collagen which gives the bone its strength. Bone is constantly built up by cells known as the osteoblast or broken down by cells known as the osteoclast. स्पंजी बोन क्या होती है हम ये भी देख लेते हैं. एक हनीकॉम मटेरियल होता है बोन के अंदर जो कि बहुत स्पंजी टाइप होता है. इसको कैंसरलेस बोन भी कहते हैं एंड इट इज़
study about the fracture. Fracture is what we all know. It is a break in the bone. जब आपकी हड्डी में break आ जाता है. A bone put under a lot of pressure may break. This bone will usually repair itself, but the treatment may be needed to ensure that it returns to its original shape. The broken surfaces are often lined up and held together until the repair is complete, and there are two main types of fracture. एक होता है ओपन या कंपाउंड फ्रैक्चर, दूसरा बोन ब्रोकन bones projects throughout the skin in a simple or closed. Fracture does not. This is repair हो रही है. ये फ्रैक्चर बोन से देखें खुद से होती है. ब्लड क्लॉट जो है फॉर्म हो रहा है सरफेस साइड पे 6 से 8 घंटे इंजरी के बाद, और उसके बाद ब्लड कैपिलरीज जो है वो ब्लड क्लॉट में ग्रो होती हैं, डैमेज करती हैं tissues में. The broken ends of the bones are connected by collagen fibers. Repair tissue called a callus form. This is later replaced by the spongy bone. और फिर remodeling होती है, compact bone replace.
Everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be discussing about the tissues of the skeleton, and I have this very beautiful book which is known as Encyclopedia of the Human Body, and it has very different parts of the body expressed and written in detail. But today we will be discussing about the tissues of the skeleton. The skeleton is a strong, a very flexible structure that supports your body, and it provides your body with the shape and protection, enables you to produce and move. The skeleton is a living part of your body, and it adapting to the demands of everyday life and repairing itself if damaged. So this is the bone structure. या आपका कोई भी bone structure, it is composed of outer compact bone जो कि आपके स्पंजी बोन और बोन मैरो को सराउंड कर रही है. देन लेट्स डिस्कस अबाउट व्हाट इज द स्केलेटन, क्योंकि हम स्केलेटन की टिश्यूज के बारे में पढ़ना है. इट इज़ अ स्ट्रॉन्ग इंटरनल फ्रेमवर्क दैट सपोर्ट्स एंड प्रोटेक्ट्स द बॉडी. इसमें जो growth hormone controls the body's growth by stimulating the cell division, but it also increases the blood glucose level. अगर तो किसी भी चाइल्ड के अंदर ग्रोथ हार्मोन कम होता है तो उसकी बॉडी जो है वो लो हाइट की होती है. वो ग्रो नेचुरली और नॉर्मली नहीं कर पा रही होती है. So this can result in a condition known as dwarfism, जिसमें आपकी हाइट
बहुत नॉर्मल से भी बहुत ज़्यादा छोटी होती है। And too much of the growth hormone can cause the body to grow more than usual, and this is what called as the gigantism, जो कि mostly लोग 6'4" या 6'5" से above के height के होते हैं। Then comes the luteinizing hormone, a pituitary hormone that stimulates the ovaries and the testes. Luteinizing hormone जिसे LH भी कहते हैं, ये ओवुलेशन में काम आता है, which is the release of egg cells by woman ovaries, and it also stimulates an ovary to form a corpus luteum. So let's study about the follicle stimulating hormones, the pituitary hormone that promotes the production of the homeostasis, and let's study more about it. So this is the chest, जिसपे आप lungs बोलोगे, and these are the kidneys, and then urethra and everything. So what is a hormone basically? Hormones are chemicals that the endocrine system uses to control body processes that travel around the body in the blood, and when the hormone reaches destination, it is called as a target cell. यहाँ पर टारगेट टिश्यू भी कह सकते हैं. It locks onto a specific site in the target plasma membrane, which is known as the receptor site. Now this is the endocrine gland. It secretes a chemical onto the body surfaces as into the spaces via the ducts or channels. This is the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland, what it do is, it is a very tiny pea-sized pituitary gland, but it is one of the most important gland of the endocrine system. And growth hormone सबको पता है. The growth of a person is linked to
very important hormone is antidiuretic hormone. It is basically the hormone that increases the amount of water in the blood. Diuretic एक substance होता है, वो stimulate the body to produce more urine. Antidiuretic hormone is also known as vasopressin or ADH, and has the opposite effect. It increases the amount of water that the kidneys returns to the blood, and it makes the arterioles constrict. एज अ रिज़ल्ट ज़्यादा फ्लूइड जो है वो स्मॉलर स्पेसेस में जाएगा और ब्लड प्रेशर जो है इससे खतरे बढ़ने का ख़तरा होता है. सो ये पूरा जो है हमने पढ़ा है एंडोक्राइन ग्लैंड के बारे में, एंड हार्मोन्स क्या होते हैं, एंडोक्राइन सिस्टम्स क्या होता है, ये हमने पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड दिखाया था. वी हैव स्टडीड अबाउट द एंटी डायूरेटिक हार्मोन. आई हैव सो मच इन डिटेल टू टेल यू अबाउट, बट अभी तक के लिए इतना. थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग माई वीडियो. स्टे ट्यून्ड टू माई चैनल. अल्लाह हाफिज़. What gland is? A gland is a group of cells that produce and releases the chemicals. They are basically chemical substances. They release them onto the body, and this is what called as a secretion. The body has basically two different types of glands. One is the exocrine gland and the other is the endocrine gland. Exocrine जो होता है वो secrete body chemicals करता है body की बाहर वाली surfaces पे, जैसे कि पसीना आना या saliva आना. और एंडोक्राइन ग्लैंड्स की कोई डक्ट्स नहीं होती, वो ब्लड के अंदर अपने जितने भी हार्मोन्स होते हैं उसको सिक्रीट करती है. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this channel I'll be discussing more about the encyclopedia of the human body. This is a very nice book, and in this book there are different parts of the body described in detail. Here I am going to discuss in detail about the endocrine system. So two different systems which keep the body working in a coordinated way, which is called as a nervous system. It works by using the electrical impulses, जबकि endocrine systems जो है वो chemicals की बेसिस पे वो काम करता है, एंड दोज केमिकल्स आर नोन एज द हार्मोन्स. So hormones usually work more slowly than nerves, but it can never have longer lasting effects. If we thoroughly learn about the endocrine system, the endocrine system that releases chemical message into the blood, and it consists of 9 major glands scattered throughout the body. Together these glands produce dozens of chemical messengers, which are also known as the hormones. And then the endocrine system, it plays a very. This is all about the heart. This is a picture of the heart, if you can see, and this is the system how the heart is basically pumps, or this is the artificial pacemaker. This is the false color X-ray which shows an artificial pacemaker which is implanted in the chest. Artificial pacemaker क्या होता है ये हम किसी और वीडियो में जो है इसको डिस्कस करेंगे. अब तक के लिए इतना ही. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर वॉचिंग माई वीडियोज़ एंड स्टे ट्यून्ड.
Everyone of us must have heard about the heart attack. So let's discuss about what heart attack actually, how heart attack actually occurs. Sudden death of part of the heart, and during the heart attack or the myocardial infarction. Heart attack is also known as a myocardial infarction. It is a part of the heart in which the muscle dies because the oxygen supply is cut off, which is usually by the blockage of the coronary artery, जो कि thrombosis की वजह से भी हो सकता है. तो एक हार्ट रेट जो एक सिवियर किस्म का जो होता है उसमें जो कॉज बताते हैं, दैट इज नोन एज अ फाइब्रिलेशन. फाइब्रिलेशन इसमें जिसमें ventricles they started contracting quickly, and which disturbs the heart rhythm. So if this person soon dies, and after a heart attack a person may suffer a heart failure in which the heart cannot pump enough blood surrounding the body, which is very essential for the living person to he will बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी होती है, उसकी बॉडी एसेंशियल्स में आती है। हार्ट
So hello everyone. Today I'll be discussing about the human body. This is the book which I have. It is the encyclopedia of the human body, and it has multiple organs and multiple parts of the body discussed in very detail. But I have decided to select heart today. So let's start studying about the heart. So, throughout an average lifetime, the heart will beat more than 2 billion times and it will pump enough blood to fill over 100-sized swimming pools. Yes, you have heard it right. So, this is the structure of the heart. If you have seen, it has the right and left pulmonary arteries and aorta, and pulmonary seminal wall, bicuspid wall, septum. So, let's start studying as much as we can. So, a heart is a hollow muscular pump that forces the blood around the body. It is a fist-sized chamber situated between the lungs, and it is made up of the cardiac muscles. So the heart automatically contracts about for 1 second, forcing the blood around the body. It is surrounded by a very tough jacket which is called as a pericardium. It is basically a protection membrane of the heart. The heart works as a single unit it is actually two pumps side by side which is separated by a muscular wall, and it is known as a septum. Basically something called as a border of the heart. One pump sends the blood around the lungs and the other sends it around the body. So this is a vice versa, and the two sides of the game. So I want to discuss about the atrium next. Atrium is a chamber that admits the blood to the heart, and each of the heart two pumps has an upper and a very lower chamber which is located at the lower side. So the left atrium receives the oxygenated blood from the lungs, and the right atrium receives the deoxygenated blood from the body. And at the beginning of each heartbeat, the two atria contract. Let's discuss about the heartbeat. So when your heart beats, it feels as though the whole of it contracts at once, but a complete heartbeat cycle has 3 stages. Yes, it has 3 stages, which is discussed here as you can see. Then I want to come downstairs, and this is the pulse. Pulse is the momentary expansion of artery which is followed by a heartbeat, and when the blood flows out of the wave, a wave of high pressure passes to an arteries. Your arteries expand slightly and then it returns to the normal size. So this momentary change in shape is what you feel as a pulse. This is the heart rate which everyone knows about कि क्या normal होता है क्या नहीं normal होता है. So the number of heartbeats in a given time. Your heart has its own inbuilt rhythm, and it doesn't always beat at the same rate. Your heart rate or pulse rate varies according to how much oxygen आपको ज़रूरत होती है. एक हार्ट रेट जो होता है it may be as low as 60 beats a minute, but however if you exercise vigorously.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this channel I'll be discussing more about the encyclopedia of the human body. This is a very nice book, and in this book there are different parts of the body described in detail. Here I am going to discuss in detail about the endocrine system. So two different systems which keep the body working in a coordinated way, which is called as the nervous system. It works by using the electrical impulses, जबकि endocrine systems जो है वो chemicals की basis पे वो काम करते हैं, and those chemicals are known as the hormones. So hormones usually work more slowly than nerves, but it can never have longer lasting effects. If we thoroughly learn about the endocrine system. The endocrine system that releases chemical message into the blood and consists of 9 major glands scattered throughout the body. Together, these glands produce dozens of chemical messengers, which are also known as the hormones. And then the endocrine system plays a very homeostasis, and let's study more about it. So this is the chest, जिसमें आप lungs बोलोगे, and these are the kidneys, and then urethra and everything. So what is the hormone basically? Hormones are chemicals that the endocrine system uses to control body processes that travel around the body in the blood, and when the hormone reaches destination, it is called as a target cell. यहाँ पर टारगेट टिश्यू भी कह सकते हैं. It locks onto a specific site on the target plasma membrane, which is known as the receptor site. Now this is the endocrine gland. It secretes the chemical onto the body surfaces as into the spaces via the ducts or channels. This is the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland, what it do is, it is a very tiny pea-sized pituitary gland, but it is one of the most important gland of the endocrine system. And growth hormone सबको पता है. The growth of a person is linked to the growth hormone controls the body's growth by stimulating the cell division, but it also increases the blood glucose level. अगर तो किसी भी चाइल्ड के अंदर ग्रोथ हार्मोन कम होता है तो उसकी बॉडी जो है वो लो हाइट की होती है, वो ग्रो नेचुरली और नॉर्मली नहीं कर पा रही होती है. So this can result in a condition known as dwarfism, जिसमें आपकी हाइट बहुत नॉर्मल से भी बहुत ज़्यादा छोटी होती है. And too much of the growth hormone can cause the body to grow more than usual, and this is what called as the gigantism, जो कि मोस्टली लोग 6'4" या 6'5" से above के हाइट के होते हैं. Then comes the luteinizing hormone, a pituitary hormone that stimulates the ovaries and the testes. Luteinizing hormone, जिसे LH भी कहते हैं, ये ओवुलेशन में काम आता है, which is the release of egg cells by women ovaries, and it also stimulates an ovary to form a corpus luteum. So let's study about the follicle stimulating hormone, the pituitary hormone that promotes the production of the what gland is. A gland is a group of cells that produce and releases the chemicals. They are basically chemical substances. They release them into onto the body, and this is what called as a secretion. The body is basically two different types of glands. One is the exocrine gland and the other is the endocrine gland. Exocrine जो होता है वो सिक्रीट बॉडी केमिकल्स करता है बॉडी की बाहर वाली सरफेसेस पे, जैसे कि पसीना आना या सलाइवा आना। और एंडोक्राइन ग्लैंड्स की कोई डक्ट्स नहीं होती, वो ब्लड के अंदर अपने जितने भी हार्मोन्स होते हैं उसको सिक्रीट करती है। Very important hormone is antidiuretic hormone. It is basically the hormone that increases the amount of water in the blood. Diuretic एक substance होता है, stimulate the body to produce more urine. Antidiuretic hormone is also known as vasopressin or ADH, and it has the opposite effect. It increases the amount of water that the kidneys returns to the blood, and it makes the arterioles constrict. एज अ रिजल्ट ज़्यादा फ्लूइड जो है वो स्मॉलर स्पेसेस में जाएगा और ब्लड प्रेशर जो है इससे खतरे बढ़ने का खतरा होता है। सो ये पूरा जो है हमने पढ़ा है एंडोक्राइन ग्लैंड के बारे में, एंड हॉर्मोन्स क्या होते हैं, एंडोक्राइन सिस्टम्स क्या होता है, ये हमने पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड दिखाया था। We have studied about the antidiuretic hormone. I have so much in detail to tell you about, but अभी तक के लिए इतना। Thanks for watching my video. Stay tuned to my channel. Allah Hafiz.
Guys, welcome to my channel. This is very informative work I've got, which is book I've got, which is known as Encyclopedia of the Human Body, and in this the whole plan of the human body is discussed. Today we will be discussing about the growth and aging. Throughout the life, the human body, it follows a predictable pattern of changes. Infants become children, adolescents बनते हैं, and adolescent becomes the adults. From the middle age onward, the body begins to show the signs of aging. This is the growth. So growth is the increase in size. Growth occur होती है mainly cell division से, control होती है number of factors से, which includes the hormones and diet. Instead of growing steadily throughout the life, the body grows at different rates at different time. The fastest burst of growth occurs before the birth. Growth is still rapid during infancy, but it slows down during the childhood. A second spurt of growth occurs during the puberty. In adulthood, growth ceases completely, but although cells, they continue to divide. This is the
So hello everyone. Today I'll be discussing about the human body. This is a book which I have. It is an encyclopedia of the human body, and it has multiple organs and multiple parts of the body discussed in very detail, but I have decided to select heart today. So let's start studying about the heart. So throughout an average lifetime, the heart will beat more than 2 billion times, and it will pump enough blood to fill over 100-size swimming pools. Yes, you have heard it right. So this is the structure of the heart. If you have seen, it has a right and left pulmonary arteries and aorta and pulmonary seminal wall, bicuspid wall, septum. So let's start studying as much as we can. So a heart is a hollow muscular pump that forces the blood around the body. It is a fist-sized chamber situated between the lungs and is made up of the cardiac muscles. So the heart automatically contracts about for 1 second, forcing the blood around the body. It is surrounded by a very tough jacket which is called as a pericardium. It is basically a protection membrane of the heart. The heart works as a single unit it is actually 2 pumps side by side, which is separated by a muscular wall, and it is known as a septum. Basically, something called as a border of the heart. One pump sends the blood around the lungs and the other sends it around the body. So this is a vice versa, and two faces, 2 sides of the game. So I want to discuss about the atrium next. Atrium is a chamber that admits the blood to the heart, and each of the heart 2 pumps has an upper and a very lower chamber which is located at the lower side. So the left atrium receives the oxygenated blood from the lungs, and the right atrium receives the deoxygenated blood from the body. And at the beginning of each heartbeat, the 2 atria contract. Let's discuss about the heartbeat. So when your heart beats, it feels as though the whole of it contracts at once, but a complete heartbeat cycle has 3 stages. Yes, it has 3 stages, which is discussed here as you can see. Then I wanna come downstairs, and this is the pulse. pulse is the momentary expansion of artery which is followed by a heartbeat, and when the blood flows out of the wave, a wave of high pressure passes through an artery. Your arteries expand slightly and then it returns to the normal size. So this momentary change in shape is what you feel. There's a pulse. This is the heart rate which everyone knows about. कि क्या नॉर्मल होता है क्या नहीं नॉर्मल होता है. So the number of heartbeats in a given time. Your heart has its own inbuilt rhythm and it doesn't always beat at the same rate. Your heart rate or pulse rate varies according to how much oxygen आपको ज़रूरत होती है. एक हार्ट रेट जो होता है it may be as low as 60 beats a minute. But however, if you exercise vigorously, everyone of us must have heard about the heart attack. So let's discuss about what heart attack actually, how heart attack actually occurs. Sudden death of part of the heart, and during the heart attack or the myocardial infarction. Heart attack is also known as a myocardial infarction. It is a part of the heart in which the muscle dies because the oxygen supply is cut off, which is usually by the blockage of the coronary artery, जो कि thrombosis की वजह से भी हो सकता है. तो एक हार्ट रेट जो एक सिवियर किस्म का जो होता है उसमें जो कॉज बताते हैं that is known as a fibrillation. Fibrillation इसमें जिसमें ventricles they started contracting quickly and which disturbs the heart rhythm. So if this person soon dies, and after a heart attack a person may suffer a heart failure in which the heart cannot pump enough blood surrounding the body, which is very essential for the living body, living person to उसकी लिए बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी होती है. उसकी बॉडी एसेंशियल्स में आती है. हार्ट. This is all about the heart. This is a picture of the heart if you can see, and this is the system how the heart is basically pumps, or this is the artificial pacemaker. This is the false color X-ray which shows an artificial pacemaker which is implanted in the चेस्ट आर्टिफिशियल पेसमेकर क्या होता है ये हम किसी और वीडियो में जो है इसको डिस्कस करेंगे. अब तक के लिए इतना ही. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर वॉचिंग माय वीडियोस and stay tuned. Guys, welcome to my channel. This is very informative work I've got, which is book I've got, which is known as Encyclopedia of the Human Body, and in this the whole plan of the human body is discussed. Today we will discussing about the growth and aging throughout the life. The human body, it follows a predictable pattern of changes. Infants become children, children adolescents बनते हैं, adolescent becomes adults. From the middle age onward, the body begins to show the signs of aging. This is the growth. So, growth is the increase in size. Growth occur होती है mainly cell division से. Control होती है number of factors which includes the hormones and diet. Instead of growing steadily throughout the life, the body grows at different rates at different times. The fastest burst of growth occurs before the birth. Growth is still rapid during infancy, but it slows down during the childhood. A second spurt of growth occurs during the puberty. In adulthood, growth ceases completely, but all the cells, they continue to divide. This is the start of the baby under the 12 months of old. The first stage of a baby's life outside the mother body is called as the infant. An infant relies and helpless on the parents for food and protection. एक ये 2 साल का बच्चा है जो उसके पास लंबे arms and it has legs than an infant, and its legs are now strong enough for walking. It is less helpless than an infant. This is the puberty is a physical change during adolescence. Aging is the process of growing old. Aging is also known as the senescence and the begins around the middle age and it affects all the body cells, making them less efficient at carrying out different tasks. As a result, the body as a whole begins to change and the skin becomes less elastic and muscle lose some of the strength, while the bones may become brittle and joint less mobile. Scientists do not yet know exactly what aging occurs, but maybe because cells slowly lose the ability to divide.
Guys, welcome to my channel. Today the topic we are discussing in this learning session is the chemistry of the body. So let's get started. Like all the forms of life, the human body is made up of different chemicals. By bringing these chemicals together and making them the react, की body कुछ substances produce करती है खुद ब खुद जो कि हम energy provide करती है so that we can live peacefully. There are a lot of things in our cells such as the atom, the carbon, the element, the molecules and the chemical compounds, organic compounds, ionic compounds, water, its solutions. They all do certain reactions such as chemical reactions, oxidation, concentration, a lot. So let's study about the atom. Is a very tiny particle of matter and the human body contains vast number of atoms. Like ये सबसे छोटी स्पीशी होती है हमारी बॉडी के अंदर. An atom is made up of particles called as protons, neutrons and electrons. It is the smallest part of an element that can exist on its own. But in the body, most element we have is carbon, is an element that is found in all the living things. So the life on earth is basically on the element carbon. एक सिंगल कार्बन एटम जो कि केमिकल बॉन्ड्स फॉर्म करता है वो 4 अदर एटम्स के साथ फॉर्म करता है. एंड दे कैन बी कार्बन एटम्स ऑफ डिफरेंट एलिमेंट्स or a combination of the two. The ability to link up with many atoms allow carbon to form a vast range of chemical compound. Now, what is the chemical compounds? Is basically a substance which is formed when 2 or the more elements combine. The atoms in a compound are combine in exact proportions and they are linked by chemical bonds. Compounds often have very different properties to the elements they contain. Guys, welcome to my channel. Today the topic we are discussing in this learning session is the chemistry of the body. So let's get started. Like all the forms of life, the human body is made up of different chemicals. By bringing these chemicals together and making them the react, की body कुछ substances produce करती है खुद ब खुद जो कि हमें energy provide करती है so that we can live peacefully. There are a lot of things in our cells such as the atom, the carbon, the element, the molecules and the chemical compounds, organic compounds, ionic compounds, water, its solutions. They all do certain reactions such as chemical reactions, oxidation, concentration, a lot. So let's study about the atom. Is a very tiny particle of matter and the human body contains vast number of atoms. Like ये सबसे छोटी स्पीशी होती है हमारी बॉडी के अंदर. An atom is made up of particles called as protons, neutrons and electrons. It is the smallest part of an element that can exist on its own. But in the body, most element we have is carbon, is an element that is found in all the living things. So the life on earth is basically on the element carbon. एक सिंगल कार्बन एटम जो कि केमिकल बॉन्ड्स फॉर्म करता है वो 4 अदर एटम्स के साथ फॉर्म करता है. दे कैन बी कार्बन एटम्स ऑफ डिफरेंट एलिमेंट्स or a combination of the two. The ability to link up with many atoms allow carbon to form a vast range of chemical compound. Now, what is the chemical compounds? Is basically a substance which is formed when 2 or the more elements combine. The atoms in a compound are combined in exact proportions and they are linked by chemical bonds. Compounds often have very different properties to the elements they contain. What is the chemical reaction? Is a chemical change. During the chemical reaction, elements or compounds, they undergo a change. Chemical reactions, they are an essential part of life, and many of them accelerated by special proteins which are known as the enzymes. Some chemical reactions break down the substances and others build them up. Together, these reactions make up the body metabolism. Water is a liquid that is essential to the body, and water is a compound of hydrogen and oxygen. It is found in all the living things, and it makes up between 50 to 75% of the body's weight. It is important for many reasons. Finally, it flows easily, which helps to carry the substances from places to place. This is a very nice book, Encyclopedia of the Human Body. I got it from the library, and I'll be more keen to discuss many things about our body from this book. So stay tuned to my channel. Goodbye.